So, are you an associate project manager apprentice? Maybe you're even with Kent Business College and you're looking at your standards thinking, behaviour B5, what on earth is that? Well, trust me, you are not alone. Today we are going to completely demystify B5, seeks learning opportunities and continuous professional development. Let's dive in and turn that confusion into some serious career confidence.
Here's the plan. We're going to follow the story of an apprentice named Jody, who is probably in the exact same boat as you. We'll start with her confusion, figure out what B5 really means, build a practical toolkit you can actually use, learn how to gather solid evidence for your portfolio, and then get you ready to absolutely nail the endpoint assessment. Think of it as your complete roadmap.
All right, let's kick things off and meet our hero, Jody. Her journey from being totally lost on B5 to becoming a master is about to become your personal guide. So this is Jody. She is genuinely great at her job. She's an APM apprentice over at IBIS Stores. Her team thinks she's fantastic, but there's this one little part of her level 4 apprenticeship that is giving her a massive headache. Sound familiar? I thought so. It's so vague, isn't it? I mean, Jody knows she's learning stuff every single day, but how do you prove it? How do you take all that daily experience and turn it into something an assessor will look at and say, yep, that's it. That's the puzzle we are going to solve right now. So, feeling a bit adrift, Jody decides to do the smart thing and get some clarity. She knows she's got to understand the why behind B5 before she can even begin to tackle the how.
She sits down with her mentor, Adam, and he gives her this absolutely brilliant analogy. He says, Jody, stop thinking of it as just a job. You're a craftsperson, you're building a career, and every single new skill, every piece of feedback, every webinar you watch, that's a new tool you're adding to your professional toolkit. And you know what? That one idea just clicks. It changes everything for her.
Adam then breaks down the official lingo. And look, the two most important words on this slide are proactive and reflective. This isn't about sitting around waiting for your boss to send you on a course. Proactive means you go looking for ways to get better. And reflective means you take a second to think, okay, what did I actually learn from that? It means you are in the driver's seat of your own career.
And let's be real, this is so much bigger than just ticking a box to pass your apprenticeship. B5 is the core habit of every single successful project manager out there. The industry changes in a heartbeat, new software, new methods. This behavior proves you're not just keeping up, you are staying ahead of the curve. It's what will make you great long after you finish this apprenticeship.
Okay, so the mission is clear, Jody is fired up, and she gets it now. So let's get to the practical stuff. How do you actually find these tools and start building out that toolkit? This right here is your action plan. It's a simple but incredibly powerful cycle. First, you've got to be honest with yourself. What do you need to get better at? Then you set a really clear goal. After that, you go find a way to learn it. And then, and this is the most important part, you have to actually use that new skill in your day-to-day work. Let's see how Jody did. Now, Jody's manager, Riedel, gives her a great piece of advice. She reminds her that the workplace at IBIS Stores is an absolute goldmine for learning. You don't always need a formal classroom. Some of the best learning happens right there, in the middle of a project, at your desk. I mean, sure, the formal stuff is great. You know, your official apprenticeship training, any workshops the company sends you on, industry webinars, these are fantastic. They're like the big foundational power tools for your kit. They give you essential knowledge, and they're usually pretty easy to get evidence for. But please do not sleep on the informal stuff. This is where the real magic happens. Just grabbing a senior colleague for 5 minutes to ask a question, asking for honest feedback after you've run a meeting, or even just taking 10 quiet minutes to think about why something went well or didn't go so well. That is continuous professional development in action. And this is how you track it all. It's so simple. Jody started a personal development plan, a PDP. Just look at the flow here. She identifies a need. I need to get better at stakeholder communication. She finds an activity. I shadowed a senior PM. Then, the crucial bit. She writes down exactly how she used that learning. This simple little table, this is portfolio gold. So Jody is now actively building her toolkit. She's feeling great. But her apprenticeship coach, Olivia, gives her a critical reminder. For an assessor, if it isn't documented, it never happened. So let's talk about building a solid portfolio that's ready to upload to a system like Aptum. Olivia gives Jody this checklist, and honestly, this is exactly what you should be collecting. Your PDP, those reflective logs where you write down your thoughts, certificates, of course, but also the simple stuff. An email from your manager that says, hey, great job on that new report format you learned about. That's evidence. It all counts. Okay, this slide is so important. Olivia makes this key distinction. An assessor doesn't really care about just a certificate. That's weak evidence. All it proves is that you showed up. What they want to see is the impact. Strong evidence connects the dots. It tells a story. I went to this webinar, I learned this specific thing, I used it in my project, and here's the amazing result. That's the story you have to tell.
Okay, the portfolio is getting packed with great evidence. Jody's confidence is through the roof. Now for the final boss, the endpoint assessment, the EPA. How does she actually talk about all this amazing work in that professional discussion?
Look, the assessor is not trying to trick you. They just want to see these 4 things. They want to hear that you took charge, that you know yourself well enough to see where you can improve, that you've got real-life examples, and that this whole process is a genuine habit for you, not just something you did for the exam.
Okay, let's do a practice run. This is a classic EPA question. You will almost certainly be asked something like this. They want to know the origin story of your learning. How did you figure out you needed to learn something in the first place?
And look at this beautiful answer from Jody. It's a perfect little story. There's a trigger, a project deadline was almost missed. There's an action, she proactively asked for feedback. And there's an outcome. She identified a specific gap, time estimation, which led directly to her next step. It's clear, it's concise, and it shows fantastic self-awareness.
And you can bet they'll hit you with a follow-up. It's always the so what question. Okay, you took the course. Did it actually make a difference? This is where you connect your learning to a real result.
And boom, another perfect answer. She gives a measurable outcome. They delivered 2 days early. And she includes that social proof. Her manager actually noticed the improvement. This closes the loop. It proves the learning wasn't just some theory, it had a real positive impact on her work and on her employer, Ibis Stores.
So, there you have it. B5 isn't some scary, vague requirement, it's a mindset. It's a career-long habit of constantly and deliberately building that professional toolkit. Jody went from being confused to being confident, and now you have the exact same map to do it too. So I guess the only question left is, what's next for you? What's the very first tool you're going to add to your toolkit?